This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to the 2018 Coaching Carousel in the National Football League. Black Monday has come, it has passed, and some head coaches have been shown the door. Others have been shown a new contract, and some teams are still mulling over their decisions. This next team that I'm going to talk about didn't take long to make their decision. As a matter of fact, we all knew that this coach was a dead man walking at season's end. Much like Indianapolis with Chuck Pagano, this was a foregone conclusion. I'm talking about the Chicago Bears. Here's a football team under John Fox that just struggled to make changes in the right direction. And I'm a huge fan of John Fox. I felt like Foxy didn't do a lot wrong in Chicago in terms of coaching up the talent that he had. Now, was John Fox in some instances way too conservative? You're damn right. That's always been his MO, though. If you've watched John Fox in his career, whether it's Carolina or Denver, he's always been one to be on the conservative side of things. He loves to play defense, run the football, and if he has to win the game 13-10, then he will. Remember the Tim Tebow days in Denver? John Fox is the guy that plays it very close to the vest. And when you're not very good as a football team, you can't stay in that frame of mind. You have to come out of your shell, and he just never did that in Chicago. His thought process was, we'll run it with Jordan Howard, we'll run it with Tariq Cohen, and we'll hold back this young rookie quarterback, which a lot of people wanted to see throw the football. And it didn't happen until late in the season where they finally turned Mitchell Trubisky loose. But for the most part, it was run the football, try to play defense. And when that didn't work, this team was in trouble. And it was the lack of growth and development of the young guys. Kevin White is probably the poster child for the lack of growth of young players. And again, injuries had a huge part in that. But nonetheless, outside of Jordan Howard and maybe Tariq Cohen as a rookie this year, it hasn't been a lot of growth in young players under John Fox. And I think that was probably one of the biggest reasons as to why they were looking to make the switch. Because if you're talking about rosters in the league, the Bears have among the worst rosters in this league. From top to bottom, talent-wise, they're not very good. And so to ask John Fox to go out and take the table scraps that he was given by GM Ryan Pace, who I think has really done a poor job in Chicago, starting with that Mitchell Trubisky trade, which I don't know if Trubisky's going to be good or not. I haven't seen a lot from him to sway me one way or the other. Nonetheless, to the draft moves that he's made and to trade up and trade away picks when you're not a good enough football team to be giving away assets, I don't love what Ryan Pace has done with this football team. That being said, I think it was time for John Fox to go in Chicago. I think the message had grown stale. And also, if you're looking to develop Mitchell Trubisky, you needed a more open, offensive-minded coach, or at least a guy as an offensive coordinator that could open up the playbook and really give Mitchell Trubisky an opportunity. I didn't think that the offense was diverse enough. I didn't think he was given a good enough opportunity this year to shine. And again, with the lack of targets, I don't think you could ask him to do much with the injuries to guys like Cameron Meredith, and you lost Zach Miller, your tight end. You lost a lot of targets. A lot of guys got injured throughout this season. It just didn't go the way. Kevin White injured again. It didn't go the way that you anticipated, and so you couldn't expect much from Mitchell Trubisky. But that being said, I don't think John Fox squeezed everything out of the rag that was given to him. I think he did leave some things in a season where I looked at this team and I said, look, this isn't John Fox's fault. There were some games where, as a Bears fan, if you were watching, you were probably really disappointed in some of the decisions made by John Fox. And though, you know, the Philadelphia game, for instance, you've got a 4th and 2 and you're kicking like a 58, 59, 60-yard field goal. I mean, what are you doing? You're a 3 and whatever football team at that point in the season. You're on the road. What do you think, you're going to beat the Eagles with 3 field goals? I mean, come on. You got to go for it there. That's John Fox, though. So it was time for John Fox to go. And I'll tell you what, if Ryan Pace isn't careful, he'll be the next to go. He's going to get an opportunity to pick another head coach, which is rare in this league. Normally, if you're a general manager and you handpick, which Ryan Pace, I think him and Fox came in at the same time. Don't quote me on that. But normally in this league, you don't get an opportunity to pick 2 head coaches. If your first head coach fails, generally that's a bad sign and omen for you as a general manager. And if you're not careful and if you struggle the way the Bears have over the life of John Fox's tenure in Chicago and Ryan Pace's tenure as general manager, generally you're not going to be around when that coach goes. So do you as a general manager. But Ryan Pace has to get it right this time. And Mitchell Trubisky is going to be his ticket. If Mitchell Trubisky flourishes under the next head coach he picks, then Ryan Pace may be safe in Chicago. If he doesn't, and that next head coach struggles, which is why you've been hearing rumors of Josh McDaniels or someone of that ilk with an offensive mind being in the discussions for this Bears job, which again, if I'm Josh McDaniels, I'm looking around the league and I'm saying Chicago is one of the last places I want to go, even though they have a young, intriguing quarterback. That's not a good enough football team for me to take and mold into my image. I'll go elsewhere, like Detroit with Matthew Stafford, or if Andrew Luck's healthy, I'll go to Indy before I come here. So there are other opportunities around the league when you look at teams with openings and vacancies. Chicago's not first on the list. So this is going to be a big offseason for the Bears because got a young quarterback. The one thing you don't want to do is play musical chairs with his offensive coordinators. If you fired your general manager, Ryan Pace, next year, and let's say the head coach flames out this year as well, and you decide to be one and done, or you keep that coach around, but he gets fired in year 2, now all of a sudden, this guy's 3 years into the league, and he's had 4 going into his 4th year, is going to have 3 different offensive coordinators. That's how you really spoil a young quarterback. So I'd like to see some continuity from Mitchell Trubisky. The way to do that is to find a head coach that makes beautiful music with Mitchell Trubisky, and whether that's a head coach that is offensive-minded or an offensive coordinator that can do wonders for him. I always like, with a young quarterback, to pair him with an offensive-minded coach, because if you have a great offensive coordinator, he's going to get a job. And that's going to take away from your young quarterback when that guy moves on and gets another job. So I'd like to see the head coach, which if he's performing well, he's not going anywhere. The quarterback's not going anywhere. Sort of like the dynamic in Green Bay with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, or in New Orleans with Sean Payton and Drew Brees. You want to pair up a great offensive mind with a great quarterback. Don't know if Mitchell Trubisky is that, but in order to find out, you need to find the right guy as the head coach. So we're going to see what the Bears decide to do. This is big for Ryan Pace, because if he screws this up, he's done, and they're going to be looking for a new general manager as early as the next season. And if you want to turn things around in the Windy City, you've been looking for a quarterback for quite some time. You may have found the guy, but you can screw him up if you don't find the right coach. So this is pretty big. You've got a good run game. You've got a strong offensive line. Now it's time to surround your young quarterback with weapons and get him the right head coach to see if he is the real deal or not in Chicago. Big offseason for the Bears as they go around and around the coaching carousel in 2018. I'm your man, Louie T, on the coaching carousel. Many more teams to discuss in 2018's coaching carousel, so don't you go anywhere. I'm signing off, but I'll see you again soon. Have a good one.